which is pretty amazing. But we did a great job on that. But it was a terrible thing for the world. The whole world suffered. It suffered terribly, including China, including other countries. It was a terrible period of time. But despite that, we did well. But we had the greatest economy in the history of our country. And I think this time we're going to do even better. We were artificially hurt by COVID. We had to focus on that instead of focusing on, but just prior to COVID coming in, there's never been anything like what we did, what we achieved. And even after, we did very well, and especially considering what all of us had to do with COVID. Some nations were hit so badly, it's just unbelievable what happened to them. As part of our effort, I've signed executive orders to keep the United States at the forefront of artificial intelligence and to end Joe Biden's war on Bitcoin and crypto. We ended that war totally. That war is over. They were very hostile toward them until the very end, just because there's so many people on Bitcoin and crypto that just before the end, the SEC came out and they were being very nice. I was so nice to people because so many people were being indicted for no reason whatsoever. Very political group of people. That's all they did was they liked indicting people, but they were being indicted, and many of those indictments were dropped just before the election because they said, wait a minute, there's 100 million, 125 million people using this, and they didn't want to have, all these people being voted against. But by the time they did that, it was too late. We had that vote entirely, I think. I think anybody would.
Alex and Christian have been great additions to ECR, but really, Gary's been the game changer. He delivered our Drive a House coffee pods.
I saved your life because if they actually thought that I was doing it, they said, why is Trump doing it? Is he doing it for political reasons? I don't do anything for political reasons. I do what's right. I want to be in the forefront of every industry. So I'll be working with the Republican Congress to pass the largest tax cuts in American history. And that includes, obviously, we have to extend the Trump tax cuts, which were, until now, the largest. We're going to dramatically cut taxes for families and for workers and for companies, including no tax on tips and hopefully no tax on Social Security and no tax on overtime. And that overtime one is a sleeper because I think a lot of people are going to be spurred on to do a lot of
All right, folks. So I'm watching some of this rerun stuff. That's all they do on social media. Run this stuff over and over. It's the same speech over and over again. So I'm looking for key things that's going on. It's sad that the government doesn't realize it's too late. For one, you opened your mouth this morning about how long it's going to take to get this Iron Dome up. This country will be hit by then. It's too late. It's just too late, folks. And they just don't want to come to terms with it. It is over. For America as we know of it. But I think it's just hilarious. It's hilarious. No, Putin's Putin ain't crazy. He realized that America is in turmoil. I'm guessing they got word to Putin that the people running the country, the United States, are not who these leaders think they are. So Putin ain't going to stop nothing, right? Putin did what he did because people were crying out from Poland and these other places saying they wanted to be part of Russia. Right? They wanted to see their families again, and the Russian families wanted to see their, and people don't even realize that was Poland, and all these countries around there were Russia at one time. So is Putin going to stop? I wouldn't stop. Here's the thing. the European unions and all that, they're not listening to Trump. They're telling them one thing, but they're doing another, right? It's almost like we're dealing with that with some people around here. Oh, they'll tell you anything. They all think they're higher than you. They all think these men are women. Not just tell them whatever. It's like their wives. Just tell her whatever. And it's too late. And everyone, oh my God, nuclear. Boy, you folks just don't know. War. That was the Trojan horse. Oh my God, we need this Iron Dome. And it wasn't nuclear. It was bio. And boy, did they get themselves into a war with a genius. Right? And this will probably continue, folks. This will probably continue. There'll be talks of hitting here, hitting there. And as the government's ready, boom, they're hitting somewhere else. And they'll never figure it out. Never. It's probably the Lord. Who knows?
Extra work. When they hear that, it's a lot of companies really like it. A lot of people really like it. The new Trump tax cuts will also include 100% expensing for new factory construction in the United States and anything else that you're going to buy with capital. If you buy something that is going to be good for our country, we're going to let you expense it, 1 year expense. And I did that the first time, and everybody was saying, can you go back to that? Now you still get, I guess, 40% or whatever, but it pares down. But we're going to bring that right up to the top level. I think that had a lot to do with the success that I had during my first term. And we'll substantially cut taxes for all domestic producers of oil and gas and just about everything else that they produce. In my first term, I brought the business tax down from around 40% to 21%, which everybody said was an impossible thing to do. I cut.
Well, I don't know about all this stuff because I'm not a genius, but I'm pretty much sure that the damage has already been done in America, and you're just not hearing about it. I don't know. Tax cuts and everything. Will they work? Well, they'll work for the poor, yeah, but for the rich, it's the same old thing, right? It's like Aerosmith's or what was that song? Who sang that? I don't know if it was Aerosmith or what. No, The Who. The Who sang that song. Meet the new boss. Right? He's same as the old boss. Yeah, and it might be. And what do I think? Well, I think Trump's just a puppet himself. A puppet himself, right? What would I do with over there? Well, vote on it. If these people vote that they want Russia to regain the country, then let them. These people are crying out. It's like America. We have people on one side of the politic thing crying out, I can't, to the Republicans, Democrats it's just a mess. It's just a mess. I don't think they'll be able to fix it fast enough before this country's hit again. It ain't going to be nuclear. Nuclear capabilities in our scientists have come so far. These are small little nuclear devices. They won't wipe out as many people, but it will contaminate the area. And they come in little suitcases, little lunch boxes, and all kinds of stuff. Now, this was stuff that was already produced by Russia. And that's a proven fact. So, is it going to... I don't know. I think it's just too far gone. The only thing we can do is pray. And what do I see happening? I see a mass removal of people saying they don't want nothing to do with the government, and they don't want nothing to do with the religions. and a massive exile out. And people are just tired of it. I know I've grown tired of it. But when they're running the same old thing over and over again,
cut it from 40. It actually was state and city was much higher than 40, but I got it down to 21%, and now I'm bringing it down to a goal of 15%, but only if you make your product in America. In other words, you're going to be at 21%, but if you make your product in America, you're going to go from 21 to 15. If you don't, you're going to pay 21%, which is still lower than anything. So guys like Elon are going to come and make his great cars in the United States. So a lot of people will. A lot of people are calling. A lot of car companies are calling. They called me, three of the majors. They called and they said, we're looking all over the place. We want to be there. I'm going to be announcing tariffs on cars and semiconductors and chips and pharmaceuticals, drugs and pharmaceuticals and lumber probably and some other things over the next month or sooner. And it's going to have a big impact on America. We're bringing our businesses back. If they don't make their product in America, then they very simply, they have to pay a tariff. But if they do make their product in America,
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't see where people have a confusion here. Anything with the USA name on it, you are going to pay buku dollars for. You will never be able to defeat China with producing cheap things. You'll never be able to do it in America. You are actually causing more trouble doing that because no one is going to pay $50 for a roll of toilet paper. No one is going to pay $1,500 for a 25-inch TV, right? You're not going to win this war. I don't understand these people. I don't understand it. You're not going to win a war with these countries because, for one, they produce the stuff dirt cheap. For two, they don't have workers in plants that are making a lot of money. That's why they can produce this stuff so cheap. You start producing this stuff in America, and it's gonna be outrageous. And then only the wealthy will be able to afford this stuff. That don't make sense to me. They will never be able to compete with people that have resources to build this stuff cheaper. America does not have the resources to do what these other countries do. They just waited too long. The reason, the government said we closed this stuff down, coal mines and all this stuff, because it was dirty. People were dying. We were getting sick and tired of families saying, my daddy's got coal lung from digging in the coals. It's killing everybody. Well, what did they do? Well, they moved away from that, right? I don't know. It's like they're going back to what they did. But like I said, folks, anything produced in America is high dollar. Why? Because they got to pay their workers. And then the business has to make some money out of it. I mean, who goes into business not to make any money? So I don't know what kind of decisions they're making. Instead of becoming partners or friends with these countries, you burned the boat. You blamed all these other countries for the mayhem that's in America. And it was your own people doing it. And they probably cost America billions of dollars. Why? because now China, Japan, Russia, all these places, oh, well, you blamed us. And we had nothing to do with it. Now we're going to raise the prices. So that 60-inch TV at Walmart for $250 is now $500. These people, they did it to ourselves. These people running the show made some very bad calls. It wasn't China. It wasn't any of this stuff that caused this mess in our country, but our own labs and our own crazy psycho people in America, not from some other country.
America, they don't have to pay any tariff, which will bring, it's all going to bring trillions of dollars into our treasury, or it's going to mean that there won't be any taxes because we won't have a fair base. If they don't have it, we don't have it. If they don't pay, if they don't charge us, we don't charge them. It's pretty simple. The Republican Party is once again the party of common sense. We're a party of common sense. We want strong borders. We don't want men playing in women's sports. We don't want to have transgender for everybody. We're the party of common sense.
Yeah, I agree with Trump on that. We don't want all that crap over here. But here's the thing, President Trump. These people are telling you one thing and they're doing another. You've been telling people, well, gas, they should have already done this. They should have already lowered interest rates. They should have lowered gas prices. They should have already done this without me having to call them and tell them. Well, there ain't nobody going to do anything if nobody's, if they're in the business of making money. You think they're going to call you? We raised the price of gas, and it's called price gouging. It's called. You know what? They're watching us change the gas prices, right? Okay, they're gone now. Raise the gas prices. Gas is back up to $3.30 out here. People down south are saying, well, it's only $1.97. Where? You got people flocking to that state to get gas and bring it back to their, it's to me, it's over with. It's gone too far. Like I said, they'll tell you what you want to hear, Mr. Trump. Yes, we're going to lower the gas price. He's not looking. All right, raise it. That's how they make their money. Right? When they're being watched, well, they'll obey the laws. Right? But as soon as that inspector's out of that area or that government agent, boom, it goes right back up. Everything. I mean, across the board, food, everything. 6 months ago, a year ago, whatever, a couple years ago or a year, whatever, eggs were $2.80, right? We're going to bring eggs back. It's skyrocketed. Eggs were $6 and something, $8 a dozen. We're going to bring the price down. They did, but now where's the eggs at? $4.90 or $5 for a dozen. So it ain't back to the $2.80. We did lower it, Mr. President. We're down. We're only charging $4.80 now for a dozen bags, when really it was $2 and something cents for a dozen bags. So they're scared. What is this? Witchery, sorcery, mind games. Remember Trump saying gas will be $1.90 something? Well, it would be great to have $1.99 or $2. Yeah, it did for about 2 weeks. And then it, boom, went up. Right? They said, look at the gas prices down. Right? We accomplished it. Boom. And it's back up again. Sleight of hand.
That's how we won the election in such a big manner. We'll no longer allow other countries to ransack and plunder our nation. That's why I've announced that we will soon begin imposing reciprocal tariffs on any country that engages in unfair and unequal trading practices. If they tariff us, as I said, we will tariff them at the exact same rate. So if a certain country, because some of these countries, even countries that I've already mentioned, are extremely aggressive with tariffs. Nobody knows that. European Union, they have a VAT tax that's devastating. It's very tough for people on the outside. Hard to sell cars, really impossible to sell them because they also have non-monetary tariffs that are very, very tough. But if you take a look at that, it's a very unfair situation. And the VAT tax is similar to.
Well, all I can say is they got the numbers way off. I don't know who was running the numbers for them, but majority of this country is poor. There ain't nobody gonna buy a $50,000 car. There ain't nobody gonna. Yeah, they might buy that $50,000 car, but that's all they'll own, right? They won't own nothing else. They'll be paying on that car for a while. I don't know who did the numbers for them, but boy, they are way off. Not even Harley Davidson wants to come back to America, right? They're moving their whole thing. It just ain't working out. It's a sleight of hand, right? They're going to tell you one thing: America will probably be hit before this Iron Dome because it's called guerrilla warfare. They're using all kinds of techniques. They'll make you think we're going to hit you with a nuke, and all along they're using something else. They're doing a cyber attack, stealing billions as you're looking for radiation. We're going to hit you with bio. You got everyone looking out, and then they hit you with a small nuclear device or something. And you think the government's going to come out and tell you, folks, we made a mistake, and yes, it's hot everywhere, right? They're not going to tell you that, folks. Is Putin going to listen to anybody? Putin ain't going to listen to nobody now. He's got other countries now on his side. And they played so many games and everything. But, you know, we needed Russia, right? There's no way around it. They're a player in the game of the resources. And they ain't treating Putin the way he should be treated. Like he is somebody. He is. He's been in power for a long time. Now, people say he's a dictator. Well, he is. That's the way they run their country. I'd be at the table. That's probably where you should be. At the table, compromising. Do you people understand we hate everybody? The only country we love is America, our own. That's the way we were taught. Raised, whatever, you know. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. When really, I want to love every country. My God, if we never had these wars and all these countries worked together, we would have been on another Earth by now. It's no joke. I was telling them that. If we all would have came together, all the countries, and worked for the better, we probably would have had condos on Gen X3. The twin Earth in outer space, which you folks ain't never going to be on because I own it, along with Uranuses. So, yeah, they made, and then, you know, it just ain't going to work, folks. These other countries figured out America is a demonic country full of witches, sorcerers, whatever they call these people, light workers, whatever. It just ain't happening, folks. And the other countries figured it out. Right? Here we are, stuck in the middle of this stuff.
the tariff. Around the world, I'm moving quickly to end wars, settle conflicts, and restore the planet to peace. I want peace, and I don't want to see everybody being killed. And you take a look at the death in the Middle East and the death that's taking place between Russia and Ukraine. It's been going on, and we're going to end it. There's no profit for anyone in having World War III, and you're not so far away from it, I'll tell you right now.
Well, it'd be nice to have peace. I agree with that, sir. I definitely agree with that. That's what we're striving for, to bring all the countries and everybody together to work on prolonging life. Space expedition out there, seeing what's out there and everything. Seeing if there's, what should they be doing? I don't know, maybe working on transportation. A hub base in case, but we're screwed, folks. We're on this rock. Do you folks understand? Instead of trying to fix the rock that we live on, this earth, trying to fix the weather, fix things, they chose to spend money on war. And maybe that's what it is. They're not telling us that. It's the devil. Right? Come on, say, we are fighting the devil. All right, now we're all in. Now we are all in. Because this is the only place we have to live, is this earth. We're in 150% now, right? But they're not saying that. So, what do? I'll tell you what you do. Quit building this bullshit military and death weapons. And you best concentrate on the rock you're on. Because what are you going to do? Take 1,000 people off the earth and that's it? To rebuild establish a society out in space or something? It'll never work with just 1,000 people. It ain't gonna work. And them people would have to be very young to do what Elon and what these people want to do. They would have to be very young people, because they might be stuck there. And you ain't gonna get crap done if you got 50, 60-year-olds up in space and you're trying to rebuild or build a society on the moon. It ain't going to happen. You're wasting my money. You're wasting my people's money, the taxpayer money, the United States citizens' money. You best concentrate on this rock, this earth, instead of out there. I mean, I'm all for spending some money if we have to make a move. But you ain't going to do it this way. You got to start producing ships that are going to take massive amounts of people off of the planet if things go bad. But I don't know. I don't know if it would work. Like I said, if you're going to do it, they're going to have to be very young people going to Mars to start this thing. I mean, you can have a couple of old people up there, but you got to keep in mind, they're not going to be there for very long. Right? So you'll be burying people on Mars also. Because depending on what age bracket you send up to do all this stuff, they're limited time with life. Not unless you could prolong life.
You're not so far away. If we would have had this administration for another year, you would have been in World War III, and now it's not going to happen. In the Middle East, I've restored my policy of maximum pressure on Iran, designed
Well, here's another thing. I agree with Trump on that, but we don't know if it's going to happen, World War III. Uh, do I blame these other countries? No, not at all. Why? Because they were taught by America. They're not going to fold. They're not going to fold. What do you think America would do if we were in war in America and war broke out with it? What do you think America would do? Right? We'd wipe out we'd do the same thing that these other countries are doing. Right? You don't run our country. We're the United States. Don't tell us what to do. And that's exactly what these other countries are doing. Right? Trump says Putin's attacking people again. He went crazy. He's gone crazy. He's gone crazy. Well, he's probably saying, hey, you don't run Russia. I do. You stay over there in America. The same way we would be telling Russia if they attacked us, you stay over. You don't tell us about how to run our country. But people don't see it. People don't see it. I mean, I love this country, but I know dang well if you're going to start producing stuff in the United States by United States workers that are getting $50, $60 an hour, $100 an hour, whatever, you ain't going to be paying no $250 no more for them TVs. For a 60-inch, 65-inch TV for $250 or whatever it is. Some of them are cheaper. You ain't going to see that no more. I can guarantee you. Even the cars. These people, I don't understand it, right? The cars that our American companies are producing, 50, 60, 70, 80,000, 100,000, $1 million. There ain't nobody going to buy them cars except for the people that are very, very rich, right? Someone like the Saudi prince who's got quadrillions of dollars. Them are the people that, I don't know. Maybe we should have learned a little bit from the Saudi prince. Right? What did they do? Well, they're loaded with oil. Just bubbles to the top. It just bubbles right to the top. You could dig a hole in the sand and the oil comes out. They have resources. Oil. They stuck with it. They didn't even have to drill. Like I said, they just dug a hole and the oil came up out of the ground. It's like the Clampets. It's like the Beverly Hillbillies. Just dug a hole in the ground and the oil came to the top. Here in America, we don't have that kind of resource. And I'm going to tell you right now, we don't have that kind of oil. They're lying. That's why we got to drill way down into the earth. And the Saudis, they just take a shovel and dig a hole. What are you doing? We're drilling. It looks like you just dug a hole. That's all we got to do out here because they got so much oil.
to bring peace. And we've designated the Houthis a terrorist organization. They're, destroying shipping lanes all over the place. They're making it very hard for people to get their product delivered. They're making it very difficult, but we'll take care of that situation. And we've secured a ceasefire in Gaza, and we're bringing in the hostages, and we're bringing them home to their families. Some of them are in pretty bad shape, I have to tell you. To end the horrible war in Ukraine, I have spoken with President Putin and President Zelensky, and our teams began negotiations this week in Saudi Arabia. I want to thank Saudi Arabia for that. That was so great. Yeah. And I want to thank, in particular, we have so many of the people, Yasser, Mohammed, all of the people, but in particular, we have to thank Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman for hosting these historic talks. And talks that went
Well, I do agree with Trump. Peace is always better than war. No one wins in war. War cost us money. War cost us money. We were brainwashed that war brings money, but it don't. It cost America money. The only one that brings money to is defense military people. That's who make money when we're at war, not the American people. The American people do not make money when we are at war.
Very, very well. Steve was there. Steve Witkoff was there, and Michael was there, Michael Waltz and others, and they really went well. It's a big step. We got to get that war over with. You have to see the people that are dying. I look at the pictures, the satellite pictures of the field. It's a level field, and it looks like a modern day version of Gettysburg. And you know what that means? It is just carnage. It's horrible. And it's not American soldiers. It's not even soldiers from the Middle East in the case of Ukraine, Russia, but it's people, it's young people from Russia and Ukraine mostly that are just being decimated. It's flat fields, and a bullet goes, and a bullet only stops when it hits somebody. And the level of people being killed in that battle, soldiers, young soldiers, in some cases old soldiers, because they're running out of people. They're running out of soldiers, in one case. But think of it, a modestly successful comedian, President Zelensky, talked the United States of America into spending $350 billion to go into a war that basically couldn't be won.
And there is the key words that Mr. President Trump said. Basically, a comedian, Linsky or whatever his name is, or whoever, suckered everyone into a war that could not be won. They're talking about resources. Well, it's hotter than a pancake over there. It's hotter than a potato that Homer Simpson put in the microwave in a nuclear plant and it glowed. What resources? The ground's it's gone. It's contaminated. Yeah, there might be gold, but now it's contaminated with radiation. Right? That's, you got to think about the rare earths and all that. What rare earths? It's contaminated. They hit a nuclear plant over there. It's just been spewing all over in Ukraine. And then Ukraine sent missiles and hit a Russian base that was holding 102 nuclear weapons that went up. Now it's hot. Resources? No, don't bring them resources over here. They're radioactive, contaminated. Let them deal with it.
Never had to start and never would have started if I was president, not even a chance. And it didn't start for 4 years, never would have started. But a war that without the US and Trump, will never be able to settle. They'll never settle that war without our involvement. That's why they did such a great job this weekend. That's why Saudi Arabia did such a great job this weekend in hosting. The United States has spent $200 billion more than Europe, and Europe's money is guaranteed. They get their money back. It's a form of a loan. Nobody knows that. I know that. I said, why isn't somebody saying, we do it the same way? And we spent much more money. We have to equalize. But while the United States gets nothing back, so they get their money back. It's a loan. We just give our money. And we had a deal based on rare earth and things, but they broke that deal. But they broke it 2 days ago. We had a deal because I said, we're spending $350 billion, and Europe gets their money back in the form of a loan, and we don't. We're just giving the money hand over fist. That's the Biden administration for you. But then
I feel bad. I feel bad for us Americans. Why? Because no matter what happens, we're going to end up paying for this. What are we going to end up paying for? Well, because they had a war over there, and they hit nuclear plants or whatever, and radiation leaking and everything. We're going to have to pay for that to be cleaned up or covered up like Chernobyl, like Russia did with Chernobyl or whatever. You know, we're going to have to pay for it. Why? Well, because we were contributing to the war. So now, oh my God, we're going to help us clean this mess up or whatever. Yeah. The cities over there are decimated, wiped out. Looks like Iraq or whatever, Iran or whatever, and just decimated buildings or whatever. Who's going to pay for that? Probably the American people, right? They want to rebuild we want rare earths and well, no, you know what you do. Be honest to the people. They want us to rebuild their city for a war that we had nothing to do with, that the American people don't know about. Now, whether this government called the United States of America's government was doing things without the American people knowing, then we're screwed, folks. They're going to come up with anything. And the American citizen working man is going to pay for them beautiful gold buildings and giant buildings in a whole city when they can't even take care of America.
They're no longer dealing with the same United States as they were dealing with a few months ago. Why didn't crooked Joe Biden demand equalization, and that this war is far more important to Europe than it is to us, and that there's a very big, beautiful ocean, a separation? It's just, we're helping Europe.
And there was another key word. This war had nothing to do with us. It was mainly the European Unions that were worried about it. And you know what? They couldn't keep their mouth shut. They were getting cheaper oil prices than us. They were getting cheaper oil prices and stuff from Russia than America. I don't know what kind of game they're playing, psychological game here. But in one breath, the government's saying, well, we're pissed at Russia because the European Union's getting better deals than we are. Well, that's because all you folks did for 5 years, and I'm bearing witness to that, was China, Russia. Everybody complaining. Jump on the Russia, China boat. It was everybody but America. Own psychopaths in our own country.
We're trying to help Europe. On top of this, Zelensky admits that half of the money that we sent them is missing. They don't know where the money is. He said, well, we don't know where half of it is. That's great, wonderful. He refuses to have elections.
Well, there's another thing Trump's right about. I'm backing him on that. They can't give documentation or any kind of thing of where this $350 billion. They can't. They have. Well, we don't know. We have no. What do you mean? We've been so. They don't even know where the missiles went and equipment that we sent them. Right? We're doing inventory on it. Hey, yo, where's this stuff? We don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Where's the 300? What'd you do with the 350 million? I have no idea, but let's meet at my new 50-room palace. Right? Why don't we meet at my house where there's a 50-room palace, and I'll show you all my Bentleys and Rolls Royces. And what do you mean you don't know where the money went? What do you mean? Oh, it got lost in movie business and everything. We were doing, right? I've been through this with the whole Howard Hughes thing. right? Howard's shelling out all kinds of money, and everybody's going, I don't know where it went. Yeah, we've been through that, the whole movie maker, right? Which now they're saying Zelensky is like an actor or something. Well, there went your money. There went America's money in some kind of a movie design or movie thing going on. And who knows? Who knows where the money went? It's almost like Robert Palmer's song. Right? There's no telling where the money went. And it probably don't even have anything to do. We know there's a beautiful woman in there somewhere, but we know, exactly probably what's going on, right? What were they doing? Well, they needed a movie. They needed it to be like this guy. There's a war going on. We need all this money. We need and everything. I'm not paying for them buildings to get fit. And then they attacked Americans because we didn't want the war, and we're saying we're not going to war with Russia or getting involved in that. It's not our war, right? We already got other wars going on that we shouldn't be in, and they got pissed and killed us. Oh, so yeah, it's crazy.
Is low in the real Ukrainian polls. I mean, how can you be high with every city is being demolished? It's hard to be high. Somebody said, oh, no, his polls are good. Give me a break. Every city is being demolished. They look like a demolition site, every single one of them.
His polls are up. You know why? Because he's the one that's the magic man, right? Sure, his polls are up in other countries because they want the war. Why? Because they know that America will be shelling out money to rebuild it. They fell right into the enemy's plans, cause a war, get America involved, because then we can say America was involved and we can have them rebuild Ukraine. I'm like, oh, this is unbelievable. This is unreal. Don't do it. Stay out of that war. Don't supply them anything. Or we're going to be sucked into it just like we were with Japan. And we had to rebuild that stuff. Everyone thinks the war was over. We dropped the bomb on Japan and it was over. It wasn't over, folks. We're still paying for it today. We're still paying for it, what we had to rebuild over there, because we wiped everything out. A whole city gone. Right? And then what happened? Well, the other countries came together. Well, you just wiped out their whole country. You're going to have to pay for that. And we did. One way or another, they'll get their money out of us, whether it's tariffs, taxes, or going to the UN or whatever, having to sit down and, America did this and that, and we think they should pay for it. And then we're paying for it. Our gas goes up, our food, everything. They're going to get their money out of us. We're just pawns. We are just banks. That's all we are. The American citizen is just a bank for the government.
And the only thing he was really good at was playing Joe Biden like a fiddle. He played him like a fiddle. That's an expression we use, Yasser, to say that he's pretty easy. A dictator without elections. Zelensky better move fast or he's not going to have a country left. Got to move fast because that war is going in the wrong direction. In the meantime, we're successfully negotiating an end to the war with Russia. Something I'll admit that only Trump is going to be able to do in the Trump administration. We're going to be able to do it. I think Putin even admitted that. Biden never tried. Europe has failed to bring peace, and Zelensky probably wants to keep the gravy train going. I don't know what's the problem, but he hasn't been able. He's very upset that he wasn't invited. He could have come if he wanted to, but
And that's just it. America's citizens are the gravy train. They have access to our pockets, and that's all we are. Do we want any wars? No. I don't want any wars with any of these countries. Some of these countries are very smart. Their people are very smart. And we should be coming together to solve this problem we have on Earth. Not unless they're not telling us something, right? Which the magnetic force flipping, something's going on. Now, this might be a cycle that the Earth goes through every 100,000 years or whatever. But we don't know because it's never been documented. So we actually don't know as humans of what's going on. We know this much. We got to keep an eye on the core temp. And we got to keep an eye on the magnetic field, our north and south magnetic field, which we can create. A magnetic field. If anything, it was Uncle Tesla that showed us that we can create these magnetic fields on Earth. So somebody is using magic or witchery, and they're manipulating us or trying to control the world.
that he wasn't invited to Saudi Arabia, but he's been working for 3 years. There's never been even meetings or phone calls to stop this war. It's a horrible thing. I figure Russia's lost 900,000 soldiers. I think that Ukraine's lost probably 700,000. And it's a terrible thing. You'll see bodies and body parts all over the field, all over. We see them very accurately through satellites. I love Ukraine.
And that's just it. I'm starting to believe that this is all war propaganda. Right? 900,000 people. Ukraine had 700,000, whatever. Propaganda. Why? Something's up. Something's up. Someone's doing something or trying to. So I don't know. We're stuck in the middle of this crap, and we're washing our hands of it. I support America, but not when they're making stupid decisions. And I'm not rebuilding someone's other country when our country needs rebuilt. I mean, what is going on? I mean, we can help if we can, but we got to worry about America. It's a country of open borders. We figured it out. We're a sitting duck. Open borders. And we pay for everything, right? What's it going to stop? Well, we have a missile defense. Well, is that going to shoot down people coming here illegally? They're bringing it in. They're bringing the disease in. They're bringing other things. Chemicals and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's good to have a missile defense system over America, but it ain't going to stop the madness coming in. I gotta change the battery in this clock. Sounds like a spooky movie clock. And this is the same speech. They're running it today as live. President Trump talks. It's the same speech. It's the same speech. The social media people are playing. They're running the same speeches over and over and over again. I only seen that happen when we were at war with another country. That they hated these people, Mussolini and all these people in Hitler and everything. Hitler constantly, all day long, every day, same thing over and over again. That's all Hitler did that's all Germany did was run the same stuff over and over and over again. How America was so bad. What was it? Brainwashing. Brainwashing. And that's what we're seeing today on social media. It's just the same speech. It's the same thing over and over again, but they're pumping it out as it's live. Right now, happening right now. Right? And I see what Trump's saying. I see what President Trump's saying. We're having a hard time here. Social media is not on our side. And then everyone's saying, well, social media is good. It's the news that's getting it out and everything. Yeah, but you're only getting out what you want to say here. What a mess. What a mess. We've opened our eyes now, right? We're danged if we do and danged if we don't. Even if we choose a religion to practice, it's the wrong religion. My God, there's so many of them in America. It's like the politics, you know? We choose what side we're going to be on. Oh my God, you're a Democrat or a Republican or it's always constant conflict and war. And what are we seeing now? Well, we're seeing countries that are thinking all the same. We're done with the politics. We're done with the religion. And man, are they thriving. Their crime rate is way down. And they're just living the life of La Vida Loca. And everyone is scratching their head. How are they doing? They don't even have a military. No. You don't need a military for peace. Good morning, Miss Debbie.
But Zelensky has done a terrible job. His country is shattered, and millions of people have unnecessarily died. And you can't bring a war to an end if you don't talk to both sides. You got to talk. They haven't been talking for 3 years. So we hope to see a ceasefire soon and to reestablish stability in Europe and the Middle East.
And they're not going to talk, Mr. President Trump, because the plan is to get America involved. Why? So they can dip into our pockets. You're right about that, Mr. Trump. They're not talking. They don't want peace. Right? Putin's got all these people from Poland and Ukraine and everything saying that they want the mother country to take back over. They miss their family members that are Russians, and the Russians miss their family members that are in Poland and Ukraine, and everyone can't figure it out. And I'm like, well, that's because Poland, Ukraine, they were all Russia at one time. That whole area was Russia. And what did they want? They wanted America to get sucked into it. Why? Because now we're going to have to rebuild this madness instead of rebuilding our own country. So Trump's right about that.
But thank you very much. And as I've said before, it's my hope that my greatest legacy will be as a peacemaker and a unifier. That would be a great legacy. So in conclusion, the golden age of America is upon us, and I'm inviting everyone here today and every citizen across our land to take part in the most extraordinary period of peace, prosperity, growth, innovation, wealth creation, and expansion the world has ever seen. We're on our way. I mean, everyone's talking about us. 3 weeks. We're in there for a couple of days more than 3 weeks. And everyone's talking about it. You have to see the crowds of people outside. It's pretty amazing what's happening. We're on the verge of soaring markets, surging incomes, booming production, groundbreaking technologies, thrilling discoveries, and a quantum leap in the quality of life. Absolutely a quantum leap. One day, very soon, our country will have the greatest economy in the history of the world because we once again have a president who puts America first, and we put America first, and your country should put your country first. But in the end, we want America first.
And there you go. He said it. We're going to put America first, and your countries, they should be putting their countries first. Exactly. Exactly. America comes first. And the only reason these people do cause wars is because they know America will come to their rescue. And once America comes to their rescue, then America will be paying for everything. It's a leech. It's a leech. It'll suck every penny out of the American citizen. And that's what they're doing. I would have been like Trump was saying, let them other countries handle it. Right? Are we in the UN, United Nations? Sure, but Trump wants to leave that. We don't want to be the superpower no more. Let these people do whatever. We're a superpower, but we don't want to be superpower for everybody in this whole world. It's costing too much money, and it's sucking up America's resources. They don't want to tell you the truth. We sucked up our resources. We have to let our resources replenish. That's oil and other rare stuff. Why? Because we used it. We were the suckers. America was the suckers. They figured out a way to drain our resources and our money. Start a war. America will come to the rescue, and then we'll wrap them up into, well, look at what you did. You came in, we need help now to rebuild these buildings, this war. And we need all these gold. Trump did say one thing that was true. It's demolished over there. And the buildings that were demolished were ancient buildings, right? Gold domes and all this stuff. Who's going to pay for that to rebuild it? Well, I already see where this is going. I was telling people this 10 years ago. We're going to end up rebuilding it. Something's up. It's a scam. They're suckering us into it. We just got out of Iraq and Iran, that war. And I was like, no, don't. Another war is going to pop off. They're going to try and suck us into it. Don't do it. They didn't listen. It was like, bring our shit home, bring our boys home. Don't get sucked up into it. Let the European Union, let the UN handle it, and send other troops and other planes because we're tapped out. We have resources now to rebuild our country. And if you try attacking us, well, we got plenty that we put away just in case. But right now we are focused on America, and that's pretty much it. And we'll be friends with these countries, and we'll help if we can. But we're not carrying the whole world on our shoulder no more because we're falling into their plan. Let me see what Debbie said. Yes, so true, Trump. Oh, well, they caused their own grief. Yeah, they did. And America did too. I tried to tell them that. They wanted to blame all these countries. They knew we needed them countries. They knew, these idiots knew we needed Russia, and we needed China, and we needed Japan, and we needed Germany. Most of our technology came from Germany, and they wanted to screw it up.
First, and when it's all beautiful, which it's going to be pretty soon, we want to help other countries and you want to help other countries. But, you know, I tell your leaders, and some of the leaders are in this room right now, you got to put your country first, whether it's Saudi Arabia, whether it's something else, you got to put your country first. But we're going to have plenty left over to help others also. As long as you invest in America, build in America, and hire in America, that means that I'm fighting for you. I am fighting very hard for you. Together, we're going to make the United States of America bigger, better, bolder, richer, and greater.
Well, then that's good, President Trump. If that's what we're going to be doing, I'm aboard with you. But in order to do that, sir, we can no longer fight these wars for these people. If we see that their country and their race and their country and fellow countrymen are dwindling away and they are actually now become extinct people, then we will step in and help, because we don't like seeing what Hitler did, right? We don't like seeing that. So if it came to that, then yes, America will step in and stop the slaughter, right? But other than that, no, we don't want war. We have been so brainwashed. Well, the only way we're going to make it out of this and bring money to the country is war. No, that's a lie. That's a lie. Every time there is a war, who pays for it? The citizens. The price goes up. Everything goes up. Nobody is paying for the war except for the American people. That's who pays for all this stuff. There is no money in war, folks. What there is money in war for the defense system, the defense military contract guys, because they want to get their money. We want to use this plant. But the American citizen, there is no money. There is no money for it in war. Did you ever think I got a check in the mail from the government? We're at war right now. Here's your money. The heck are you talking about? No, never. What happens? We're at war right now, so you're going to have to write us a check. That's what happens. So they've been brainwashed for so long. Let me see. Yes, talk it, Trump. Put your country first. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but I'll tell you what right now, anything to do with war, gas prices are not going to go anywhere except for up. The price of food and everything is going to go up. And with war, we've been brainwashed for so long. And unless you're in the military division of contracts of producing weapons, them are the only people making money. The American people are not making money on war. The American citizen does not make a dime on war. We pay for the wars. And my bank book is broke, so I'm not going to be doing no wars. Debbie said, who is brainwashed? We all were brainwashed for a long time.
Than ever before. It's going to be stronger than ever before. We're going to be a peacemaker and a peacekeeper. We're going to stop people from these stupid never-ending wars. We're not going to partake in them ourselves, but we'll be stronger and more powerful than anybody by far. And if it ever came to war, there is nobody that will be able to come close to us, but we don't think that's going to ever happen. So I want to thank you all very much. It's a great honor to be here. And I think somebody said they're going to ask questions. And I didn't say, gee, what are the questions like Biden does? I say, just ask. It doesn't matter.
Well, we know this much. Our ex-presidents made bad calls. Right? We know that. We know that. It's a proven fact. We can open up the books on every president and we can show you bad call, bad call, bad call. Even Washington made bad calls. Hold on, I got to relieve myself of this coffee. Listen, folks, every president since the time of a president in America has made bad calls. Okay? That's the truth. That is the truth. They've made good calls, but they also made some bad calls. And what people don't understand is President Trump can put stuff into bills right now, but it don't take effect. Most of the stuff we're seeing today was bills that were passed 10 years ago that now finally have taken effect. Why is it so far behind? I don't know. But stuff that Biden did is starting to take effect. Stuff that George Bush did when he was in, it was probably 5 to 10 years after that. And then the laws that they passed, or what are the bills that they passed, started taking effect. So yes, the history of our presidencies, they all have made bad calls. But was it them making the bad calls? Or was it their advisors and the people around them that they were listening to that gave them bad info, bad intel, or whatever, or were actual spies within the White House and were calling bad deals? Debbie Fox says Biden is complete buffalo. He's complete cow chip. Biden is complete buffalo. Biden screwed everything up. Worst president ever besides Carter. Well, like I said, if you folks only knew the truth, yes, every president in America has made bad calls. They've also made some good calls, but they've also made some bad calls. I just hope there's no connect. Well, it's too late. We're already connected to this Ukraine thing. So I know for a fact we're going to get stuck with the bill. America. Why? Because we stuck our nose into it. And I told them, don't get wrapped up into that. We just come out of Iraq and Iran. We don't need no more wars. And everyone, Ukraine and Russia, let them handle it. We're getting a good deal from Russia right now with gasoline and all kinds of stuff. Don't mess it up. Don't get involved in that. And they didn't listen. They got wrapped up into it. Trump saying, "There's build, it's just demolished every." Well, we ain't paying for it. You think I'm going to build a $30 million gold dome building as I'm living in a dilapidated apartment? No, I don't think so. Let me see what Debbie said. He didn't make any calls. In fact, pretty sure he is AI. Probably is AI, Debbie. Why should we pay for it? Because you don't understand war, little lady. You don't understand it. I don't blame you. You should be understanding cooking and love and smelling good and looking beautiful. That's what women are supposed to do. And being the backbone of their family or man or whatever. But these people don't understand. Once we get sucked up into a war, now it's America's responsibility to rebuild every building, to rebuild everything. We're done with it. They don't understand war. And man, we just got out of Iraq and Iran and everything. Our boys were coming home. We were done with that whole thing. They were like, we left $7 million worth of equipment over there. Let them have it. Just shut up. Get out of there. Get out of there. They couldn't listen. We want to go back and leave it. It's garbage. Equipment anyways. Our technology is advanced. Let them have it. It's garbage anyways. It's $70 million. Well, leave it. Get your butt out of there because it'll cost us $200 billion if we go back in. Get out of there. We're out of that war. It don't concern us no more. And as soon as I said that and they started doing that, the Ukraine war popped up. And I was like, don't get involved in that. We're done with the wars. We're done with opening our pocketbooks for these wars. Let me see what Debbie Fox said. Yes, you understand all right. Yes, I understand all right. Go build your own dang gold buildings. We don't care. We better not fix anything. Let them. Debbie, you don't understand, woman. We are already in it. As soon as they started supplying Ukraine and all this stuff and with money and stuff, that's it. We're in it. And that's why Trump's letting America know right now all the beautiful buildings that were over there, ancient buildings, that gold domes. And I'm like, oh, here we go. Here we go. We're going to be rebuilding their golden dome buildings and all their stuff. And we got this problem in America. They don't understand war. I don't know. Maybe in 20 years we'll be done paying for this. Probably not. And do I hate Ukraine or Zelensky or anything? No. No. No, I don't. I feel sorry for them. But here's the thing. They're a country that is within a country that used to be Russia. And now the people are screaming out to Russia that they miss their families and they don't want this no more. In Russia, people are screaming out that they miss their Poland families and their Chechen family, or Ukraine families and everything. It's all was Russia. And people to this day cannot figure out what's going on. You better not fix anything. Let them rebuild. They blasted themselves. She's right, though. gonna lie. I mean, I don't know why we tried to get it out of the European Union. I don't know why we tried to get out of a lot of stuff. Probably because we were the only ones paying for anything. So what do? Well, then break away, lock the doors, and if there's a war, there's a war. It don't have anything to do with us. They attack us once, then we just light everything up, right? We don't want war. We want peace. And we've sucked up all of our resources. Now we have to have time. We need time for them resources to rebuild, meaning oil. You can't drill if you ain't got oil. So you have to let, it was in the Bible, you have to let the land and the earth replenish itself for 7 years. You're supposed to work the land for 7 years. Then what did the Bible say? Then let the land rest for 7 years. Meaning you don't plant nothing on it. You just let it, you leave it and let it go. And let it rejuvenate its soil. And that's what the Bible said. And that's what we're running into, is we got to let the oil replenish itself before we start drilling. And like I told you, Saudi Arabia don't have this problem. Why? Because they can take a shovel and dig a 5-foot hole in the sand, and it'll fill up with oil. Why? Because they got access to oil. That's their main thing. Where they live is key for oil. It's a key player. America, we have to drill, and we have to drill deep because we don't have oil resources like they do. So what do? Well, you become friends with them. That's what you do. That's what you do. When your country don't have the resources, you got to make certain decisions. Do I think Trump's making a good call by going to the Saudis? Sure. Are you kidding me? These people got so much money over there. God dang, Elon's jealous. I mean, Elon's got 400 and something billion dollars. And Elon's like, I got that baby chump compared to what these Saudi Arabia dudes. I'm like, I know. Them dudes are rolling. They're rolling. The Saudi prince, that dude's smart. Rolling, and everything over there is just beautiful and everything. It's unbelievable. Their people, they treat their people with respect. I mean, the Saudis, and I give them, India was one of the big rollers, shot callers, and we love India, but it's getting pretty bad over there now. I don't know. I mean, these are countries that still live by the Bible. Some of them have 80 wives and they're underage, young kids. They still live in the Bible times, folks, in them countries. They still got 20, 30 wives, and they're all kids. Now, let me see what Debbie's saying. He said he was going to put a golden dome over the United States. He is talking about rebuilding Ukraine. Yeah. Yeah, he wants to put a golden dome over America like Israel has, which is great. All Israel has is a bunch of CRAM devices and missile defense from the ground. Nothing from the air, from space. Now Trump and Elon they're talking about something. Excuse me. Golden Dome over America. Hey, I'm for it. As long as it ain't going to cost the American people anything. Which half of the stuff that's over in Israel belongs to America. Where do you think Israel got all these CRAM devices and the Golden Dome? From America. Hold on a minute, folks. No, I can't figure out this new phone I got. It's like my old phone, but it's in better shape. But I can't figure out the answering machine. It's not letting me. It's answering. The answering machine is working, but it's not letting me hear who it is. So I have no idea who it is, but I'm in the middle of a video. He is not talking about rebuilding Ukraine. He is talking about the Golden Dome for ballistic missile defense system in America. Yes, but he's talking also about how Ukraine is destroyed. He's given little clues, Debbie. And that clue is Ukraine's demolished. And now we're going to have to rebuild it because Biden got us involved in that war. And now we are responsible for it. And Trump has already come out and said that Ukraine has ancient buildings that were destroyed in this war. And I was like, get out right now, because we're going to end up just like Japan. We'll have to rebuild Japan and pay them, reimburse them for what we did. And now we'll have to reimburse, being that Biden got us into this thing, or the United States now we're in it. Now Trump talking about we're going to have to rebuild everything over there. The Golden Domes are so beautiful over there in Ukraine, and ancient buildings all demolished and gone. I knew where that was going. We're going to have to, they're going to want us to rebuild it. She don't understand war. It's all right, Debbie. Everywhere that we have gone and wiped out and destroyed and demolished or got involved in, what has happened, proven fact, we end up paying for it. We end up paying for it. No joke. One way or another, they're gonna get their country rebuilt. One way or another. People don't understand war. What's Trulinsky gonna do now? He's gonna get on there and say, "Look at my country. How am I supposed to have a country? Look at it, it's demolished. Help us rebuild it." And then that's what happens. Our countries come together, and we pay the money and help them rebuild their country because it was demolished. Trump is for America, not the whole world. Yeah. Well, that's because we started telling them, get out of this stuff. They're trying to suck us into it. Man, I was so proud we got out of Iran and Iraq and everything. It's over. Get out of there. They were crying to me. We left equipment over there. Let them keep it, you idiots. Get out of there. It'll cost us more to go back in and get it. Leave it. It's garbage anyways. It's garbage. And then there was some people that went back there to see how much equipment was there. And it was garbage. Glow sticks, a couple, helmets, some flak jackets, old helicopters. I'm like, it's garbage. Don't even get your shit on the uproar to go over there and get it. It's all garbage. That's why we left it. Yes, in Ukraine, Debbie. He's given the American people, He's blaming it on Biden. Why? Because he knows we're going to have to pay for some of it. That's exactly what Trump's saying. What am I hearing from Trump in this speech? America screwed up. And Biden got us into this and yada yada. And now America's going to have to pay for it. America's going to have to pay for it. And these other countries or whatever. Right? Well, that's pretty much what happens. It's always happened that way. It's always been like that. Somehow, some way, the American people will end up paying something. Iran still has the ability to make nuclear weapons. We need to stop their stuff. Yeah, Iran. Yeah, I did. I ran as far away as I could from any of these wars. I'm like, don't let them suck us into it. And it's bad enough. We keep coming up with this new technology and we end up selling it. Why? Because it's a military defense. That's how the government works. We end up selling it, and now we are at war with equipment that we created. Our planes, our tanks, we're selling it to other countries, and now they're turning around and using it on us, killing our own soldiers with it, and yada, yada, yada. I would change the whole thing up. But that's how America makes their money, by selling military equipment. Our technology, they sell it. That's how they make their money. And I say, I'm done with it. Right? Why are we producing weapons that are being used on our own guys, our own troops, and it was sold by our own country? You want to be the best. Don't sell your technology. You want to dominate the skies. Don't sell your technology. So you're not going to dominate nothing. You're going to be battling what you created, the biggest, the baddest planes and stuff. He's not talking about the Golden Dome over there. Debbie, you didn't see all his speeches. He's telling you right now in this speech, Ukraine is demolished. Biden got us into this. And the politicians that came before him. He is telling you, but he's telling you in a soft kind of way that we're going to end up having to pay for all the golden domes and their stuff in Ukraine that was demolished in this war. That's what he was talking in his other speech. It's horrible. People all over, dead people. The whole city, the whole country demolished. Ancient golden dome buildings over there, mosques or whatever they call them, where they pray and everything. So beautiful, so incredible, all kinds of just gold everywhere. He's telling you folks that the whole country was wiped out. And this was ancient buildings over there, the mosque or whatever they call them, or whatever. And it was all wiped out. And eventually we're going to have to pay for it. And Biden got us into this. That's what he is telling you folks. That's what he's telling you folks. Why are they cutting a deal for rare earths with Ukraine? They're not. What they're doing is saying, let them know that we're going to be buying rare earth from you. And that's why we're going to give you the $350 trillion to rebuild your country. But tell them it's rare earths that we're getting from you. They're hip to it. Okay, I got to go. I got to see who called me. Figure out what's going on. Probably someone trying to send some magic or something to me or something. Or I don't know. I'm feeling good this morning. We need to worry about Iran No, we're not worried about none of that stuff. It ain't our business. It's not our business. Stay out of it. Let them countries over there that don't like Iran handle it. Let them handle it. They're so worried about Iran having nuclear capabilities. Then let them countries over there handle it. We need to worry about Iran. Them towel heads are making nuclear weapons over there. Yeah. Man, well, everyone's making nuclear weapons, Debbie. You just don't know about it. Right? You can't, Ukraine or Iran or whatever. We lost 13 service members that day we were pulled out of Afghanistan. Yeah. Well, it's about time. This will be a lesson to America and everything. Don't get involved in wars. We'll help if there's a genocide and they're slaughtering, a race. We'll get involved, right? But other than that, no. No more wars. And don't let them suck you into it. And as soon as you get out of Ukraine, they're going to start another war. And they're going to come knocking at our door. America, help. And we're just, that's what it is. And people are so blind to it, they just think, oh, you can't. There's no way out of this, Trump. Either you pull the plug to everything and shut the doors to America and say, we are out of everything. If you attack us, we will wipe everything out. Leave us alone, and we are out of this. Or open up your bank book and your checkbooks, because we're going to be paying for this for a while. Right? We're going to be paying for this for a long time. Until America figures out to use common sense, morals, and integrity, and to come sit at a peace table, this is going to continue. So screw the White House, screw everyone. We're keeping up with the Joneses. Screw that, screw them, screw everything. I'm not paying for this stuff anymore. I will pay for prolonging life, but I'm not going to pay for this shit no more. And we're pushing for the holy war if that's what they want. Right? Is that what they want? The holy war? Well, they're pushing for it. And who's going to suffer? The American people. The government's not going to suffer. They're going to go underground in our bunker. They're not going to suffer anything. We got more equipment underground and food and everything. These people have no idea what they've come up against. You're going to suffer. The American people will suffer, not the government. Now, I'm going to end this video. I want to thank everybody for showing up today and listening. These are just my opinions, my theories, and they mean nothing. Certainly not enough to kill a man over his opinions. But today, in the world we live in, yes. They'll kill you deader than a doorknob. Debbie says Biden took all the restrictions on this stuff. So effing what? Oh well. Yeah, oh well is right. Right? Oh well is right. That's all I said. America was suckered into stuff. And maybe in 20 years, you folks will realize that your bank books are getting, it's all psychological. It's all psychological, folks. But whoever's been, Trump, we should concentrate on this magic and stuff, this death magic they've been sending, which Trump knows what's going to be happening soon in America. And he's giving you folks a little taste. He's trying to let you know that it's going to get pretty ugly. And the reason why this is going on is because of, when the government comes out and says we got enough weapons now to take on God or anyone that gets in our way, we got enough death machines to take on anybody. They just don't want to hear it, right? They just keep pushing and pushing, and we'll have no choice but to do stuff we don't want to do just to survive, right? So, yeah, I imagine it's going to get pretty ugly unless Trump can bring peace, which I'm all for peace. Good God. I'm a big supporter of peace and leaving people alone, right? But America is the hub of the devil. It don't look good. My opinion. That's just my opinion. And my opinion don't mean anything. So either we're going to prolong life or we're going to contribute to the death. Which one are you folks going to do? Because I'm for prolonging life. And no magic, no witchery, none of this stuff. No worshiping the devil, no rights to worship the devil. And that's probably why these other countries are thriving now, because they'll beat your brains and you start worshiping the devil over it. And that's probably why they're flourishing. And America's scratching their head. They can't figure it out. What is going on? And well, it's finally happened. It's finally happened. Right? America became everything it strived not to be. America became everything it went to war against. Now America has become it. And it goes back to the old saying, if you're around idiots 24/7, every day, what happens? It rubs off on you. Now you become an idiot. And that's exactly what's happening. We're starting to become in this country everything we can't stand. That we went to wars to save people for. We're becoming. All right, you folks have a great day. I will be right back with possibly an outdoor video. We got rain coming in today. We got a lot of stuff going on. Storms, I think, tonight or something, or today. Rain the next day or two. Yeah. I don't know. Let's see what Debbie said. War is going to happen. It's inevitable. What the hell? I am not screwing the White House. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know anything about the White House. No one tells me anything. What the hell? What? Debbie says, what the HE double toothpicks are you saying? Are you denouncing the United States? I don't know. Where are you at, Debbie? What are you talking about? Am I denouncing the United States? What are you talking about, little woman? No, man. Denouncing or demolishing? I don't know. No, I think Trump's trying to tell you. When what was a seller for me when Trump got on TV and said, "Folks, you know what time it is. Sorry, you know what's happening," and everybody, what? Armageddon, maybe. Who knows? Maybe. It don't concern us. We must focus on God, peace, love, and love one another. That's what we need to focus on is God. And peace, loving one another. And no opinion is worth killing someone over. And there's no amount of money to kill. We're creating a new thing where we got $80 billion. We'll give it. Who cares? We don't want it. Get away from us or we'll wipe you out. We're not going to live by money no more. We're not going to do things because we're going to all be poor or we're all going to be rich in this company. Right? But we are not bowing down and going to go in and do things just for money. And that's what these other countries are saying now, and the scientists and the professionals are saying is, well, see, if this all goes bad, there's only a couple countries that are going to survive it. And that's because they don't base their whole world on money. Will they survive it? Yes, they will survive it. Christ, these people don't even have a military and they're thriving better than us. Their whole world has changed. Their morals, integrity has changed. Why? They think as one. They're a unit. They're not divided. That's why they're doing so good. And you folks laugh now. They laugh now. But these are the countries that will be the next teachers of how to live, right? And people think it's a joke. I'm like, if the stocks collapse, if everything collapses, this country's over with. It's done. It's been done. They're just trying to prolong it. Why? Because it based everything on money. It's not going to recover. It ain't going to happen, folks. That's why other countries made the change. And that's why they say now the scientists and the professionals, if it goes bad, these are the countries that are going to survive because they operate differently. Their whole way of thinking is not money, 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 money. And they will survive. Now, I got to go because I got to find out who called me. I want to thank Miss Debbie Fox for coming in and giving her opinions about it. No, I'm not doing anything, Miss Debbie Fox, because I'm not the president and I don't run the country. So I'm not denouncing anything. I'm not doing anything. It ain't me. So, but thank you for your opinions. And I know you understand, but you don't understand once America gets wrapped up in a war, the American people end up paying for everything. And that's what the American people think. Well, this is all going to be, we're not going to have to pay for it. Bull crap. Bull crap. We're already paying for it. You can see it in the prices of the food, the prices in the gas, clothes, TV, everything has gone up. Why? War. Not, oh, well, it's inflation. No, it's war. We're paying for this country to be rebuilt and feeding their, that's what it is. You're not pulling the wolves over my eyes no more. In Jesus' name, amen. We live in a constitutional republican, not a democracy. I don't know, little lady. Go. She's laughing her little butt off right now in my chat. Look at her. Tears rolling down her eyes. She's laughing so much. Excuse me. I don't know. This little lady. It's too early. She hasn't had her coffee yet, but all glory goes to God. I'm done with this war stuff. I'm done with the mass destruction weaponries and coming up with all this stuff. I wash my hands. I'm walking away from it. And that's my right. I could be a Pontius Pilate and say, I ain't doing this. And these people are innocent, and I'm walking away from it. Hold on, man. I got to go to the bathroom. I didn't say screw the White House. But you know what? If it gets any worse, I probably will be like the rest of this country and say, screw the White House. We're being screwed. Right? We're being killed from our own country. I mean, I don't think they really want to go there and have the books open. But they could if they want, but it ain't going to turn out good for them, I can tell you that. I can tell you that much. And what has America become? I'm telling you folks, the Lord is telling you folks, your country has become everything you strived not to be. That you went to war to kill these people, you now have become the bully. Everything, the hatred, the anger, you have become it. And what do? Lock the doors and get out of it. Rebuke it. We don't want it. We need a break. That's why our citizens are being killed by people that were in the military. People that were in gun. They snapped. They become so full of death, killing, madness. And that's why my new military is going to be unmanned. And it's not going to cost our people. We will thrive. Right? When you shoot down that plane, it's just a plane. There's no human on it. There ain't going to be no family at home crying because their father was killed in a war. We're way ahead of this world. And we're going to continue to go forward. We ain't going back to conventional war. And I ain't paying for any of this crap. So all glory goes to God. And we continue to push forward. I will not be brainwashed, manipulated no more, drugged, injected, whatever you folks do. No more. I'm a bum anyways, from what you people said, and a complete idiot. So if I'm a bum and an idiot, there's no reason for you folks to be around anymore. Right? Now, you folks enjoy your day. Keep an eye on the weather. Tornado machine season's running. Let me see what Debbie said before. Do you realize you say some things that get people pissed off, like telling me I don't know anything because I'm a woman? I didn't say that. I said you don't understand that no matter what war we go into, the American people suffer, no one else. Don't have anything to do with you being a woman. Not at all. I didn't say that. It sucks. You don't realize what you say. I realize exactly what I said. And I can play this back and listen to it. I didn't say you don't know what you're talking about because you're a woman. I didn't say that at all. And I ain't that dumb. These guys are so good. What I say right now will not be what comes out on the video that I put out. That's how good they are. That's how fast they are at editing and everything. I told you, this certain technology should not have been let out until the world. Now these people can make it look like you said or did anything with AI editing and software programs that do that. So to me, it's over. It's over. It's everything they were worried about. It's everything they fought against is now here in America. You folks have a great day. God bless everybody. And like I said, if I'm such an idiot, if I'm such a moron, then you folks have no reason for me to watch my channel or even care about what I say, right? Probably. No, I see a bunch of squirrels running around out there, so I gotta get some peanuts out there for them. I'll be back with an outdoor video. Miss Fox, thank you for joining our channel today and discussing and voicing your opinions. It's always nice to have someone here with brains and opinions. Now, you folks have a great day. God bless. Uh, I will support the government, but on smart decisions. Uh, I just can't believe all this time has gone by. And what have we seen? War, 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 war. Instead of coming to the table and saying you are all great countries and you're all great warriors and we all got to come together to save humanity and no more wars and everything. You ain't seeing that. And you won't, because they want to remain in power, and that's how they control us with wars, madness. That's how they suck our bank accounts dry. With computers and everything, they can't tell who did it. We have no idea. And that's exactly what you wanted. You wanted it to where no one knows who did it, when you can do that with computers. Right? Where did it go? We have no idea. Yeah. Technology has gotten so far now that they can use it, rip us off, and you have no idea who did it. It'll take years and years and years before they figure out who did it. So, yeah, we fell for right what they wanted. Technology and war. Confuse them. That'll give us enough time to steal their souls and their bank accounts. And that's what's happening, folks. God bless you all. Have a great day. I'll be back here shortly with an outdoor video of the beautiful squirrels and birds, and although it's cloudy out today. Miss Fox, thank you so much for showing up this morning. Get you some coffee and relax. Have a great day. Such a smart lady or whatever. It's just sometimes people don't understand, no matter what war you're in, American citizens pay for it. You have a good day, folks.